It's the daily grind, daily grind, oh, daily grind. Welcome to the Daily Grind. That was Louis Armstrong.
Love it.
I'm your host, Luke Atmaker. It is Thursday. It's a day that starts with a T, which means I got my guy, Rusty. How are you, brother? How are you this morning?
I am good. Today's one of my national holidays, favorite holidays. Actually, two. It is National Chili Dog Day.
Wow.
And National Hot Fudge Sunday. So I think I found what I'm having for lunch today. We're going to negate that workout this morning and crush some chili dogs.
Wait, it's both those days in one?
Today, yeah. Of
Holy
all days,
cow.
it's today.
That's awesome. Like
Yeah.
chili dogs and Sundays. Gimme.
I'm here, man. Let's go.
I'm here. We actually have stuff to talk about today other than chili dogs and Sundays, unfortunately. Shout out Wayno, by the way. Thank you for everybody. Progress T from Crunch Fitness. Thank you for jumping in with us, brother. Good to see you.
T works at the Crunch Fitness here in Memphis, man. What's up, T?
Oh, hell yeah.
Joining in, brother. Yeah.
Hell yeah. But we got Grizzly stuff to talk about for the first time. New Grizzly stuff, because the Grizzlies had a little bit of bookkeeping done yesterday. When was it in the afternoon? When did Uncle Buck text us? It was weird. It was
around lunchtime yesterday.
Around lunch.
I get those notifications from Twitter from Grizzly PR, and like for a hot second, I'm like, this is it. It's Luke Kennard news. It has to be. There could be possibly nothing else.
Yep.
And then when he sent that to the group, I'm like, it absolutely is confirmed. I was in a meeting, I couldn't look, and then when I looked down and saw that it was in fact not Luke Kennard, and we lost the great middle linebacker turned post player Trey Jemison, I was a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, I felt bad for Trey Jemison. For those of you who didn't see the news, the Grizzlies waived Trey Jemison, who's on a 2-way contract, and they signed Jay Huff from, I guess he was on the Magic. He'd been on the Magic Summer League team, but he's played for the Lakers, played for the Denver. The Nuggets. I guess Memphis didn't like what they saw in Jemison. I don't know. I thought this seemed pretty odd. I mean, all things considered, considering that they got almost 20 games with him last year and several starts, and they seemed pretty keen to have him around, but I don't know if he just vastly underperformed in their eyes, Summer League, but I was surprised to see him gone. I wasn't expecting any sort of bookkeeping or roster news other than the Kennard signing until the start of the season. And so this was kind of weird.
Agreed. And you know, I liked what I saw from Trey Jemison in Summer League. He rebounded effectively. He got buckets. He had like a 20-point game. Like he was averaging, I think, like almost eight rebounds a game. I mean, he was tough, man, and defended well, attacked the rim. I had some pretty big dunks. I thought I saw enough, and we talked about it, I believe, last week or even earlier this week, where it's like, you know, I think he could be that emergency center that we need, that, you know, he hangs out on that 2-way. And I said, I don't know that there's a spot on this team for him next year. And it looks like Memphis decided to go ahead and eliminate that spot now. You know, Jay Huff looks the part, but I'm going to miss Trey Jemison. I like watching him hoop.
I like watching him hoop too. And I don't know if what does Jay Huff do better than Trey Jemison? I mean, for the G League last year, he 18.1 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, 2.1 assists, 62% from the field on almost 11 attempts, 42% from three and 3.1 blocks. Like I guess you could say he was a more complete player than Jemison. Jemison doesn't have a 3-point ball.
No.
Doesn't have much of a shot at all outside the 3 feet from the basket. And maybe that's why he's a little bit taller. I mean, is he a little bit taller? I mean, he's not bigger by any means, but he may have more height on him. It seems 6', half a dozen there, you know?
I agree. He very much is taller. He's 7'1". Trey Jemison's coming in around 6'10", but Trey Jemison is thick. He hit the gym. Like Leno said, he looked a lot fitter this year. He moved well. He looked athletic. But looking at Summer League stats, and Jay Huff did have a little bit better summer. He averaged 16, almost 17 points a game, 5 rebounds, 2.2 blocks, shot 62% from the field and 35 from three. I sent y'all in our group chat yesterday that coast-to-coast dunk he had. And he's got handles at 7'1". So, I mean, he's athletic, and I like what I saw in Summer League. But, again, it's an emergency center. Like the likelihood of him seeing – if he's seeing consistent minutes on this team, things have gone terribly wrong once again.
Yes, agreed. And I guess their way of thinking is if we do need an emergency center, we want one more like Edie. I mean, we want to just keep the team. We don't want to put this guy in that people have answers for. If we want to keep the game plan going, let's put in another 7-footer. That's what I'm thinking. I don't.
That's got to be it, man, because Jemison is good and he fits in, but he's just not tall. And he gave us big minutes down the stretch last year, right? When we didn't have anybody else. Like, he played some big games, and I know a lot of people rooting for him, myself included. Just a good story, humble beginnings, come up to UAB. He's a good kid from all intents and purposes, but like, he's just not tall enough. And when you can get a guy who's 7'1", that can move in space, that can shoot, that's very athletic and effective with the ball in his hand. Again, Jay Huff's probably going to see minimal minutes this year. Hopefully, Edie gets right and we don't have to worry about it. But he does, like you said, mirror more of what Edie does. Jemison is more, the bruiser type, whereas I think Huff is like Edie, going to be a little bit more. I mean, Edie can be, but he's more finesse for sure.
Well, and also, I mean, if you're looking at the idea of your two-way guys are Cam Spencer, Scottie Pippen Jr., and now Jay Huff. If you're going to play these guys a lot for the hustle, you're going to want Scottie getting minutes and getting reps with someone who resembles Edie, because it looks – I mean, we're all saying that that's the next step for Scottie Pippen Jr., a main roster spot where he gets the run with Edie, where he gets the run with those guys. This is going to be more practice for him for that role, I would say. It benefits Scottie Pippen Jr. more than I mean, maybe it benefits Scottie Pippen Jr. more than it benefits Jay Huff having him on this team. I think having a 7'1" center on the hustle for him to play with is big.
I couldn't agree more. That's a solid point. I hadn't really even thought of that angle yet, but yeah, I mean, Pip is going to be able to run pick and rolls and high lows and all kind of stuff with Huff. It'll be similar to what Edie's doing, to where when Pip is up getting minutes with Edie, it's like there's not really a drop off. If anything, it'll make him that much better, because we all know, watching these boys this summer, they had a hard time figuring out a post entry pass. Like, it was like asking them to do it with the opposite hand and their shoes untied. It was awful watching them. And so this is going to be a great opportunity, because God bless Trey Jemison. That boy had brick hands. Like, he couldn't catch a cold in an icebox, man. And so, a guy that can actually catch, and it's going to be similar to Edie. This is going to help, Pip and Cam Spencer and these guys learn post-entry passes. So when they're in with Edie, it'll be much more smooth. I guess, I don't know why I thought a two-way contract was set in stone. I was like, you can't do that. You can't waive a two-way. Yeah. Now, he can be poached from. It's like somebody couldn't have came in and poached him, but we certainly can waive him, because it's more of just like that emergency guy that's not necessarily guaranteed contract or roster spot.
Which Trey Jemison will most likely still. Yeah. Someone will get picked up by him. He's too big. Absolutely. He's got too much NBA experience to not be not play for someone.
100%. He looks too good with the ball in his hand. When he does get it, somebody's going to pick him up for that emergency spot that fits more of what they do.
Yes. I mean, if anything, everyone looks like this is going to help Jay Huff. This is going to help Scottie Pippen Jr. Trey is going to look better through the eyes of other teams because he's gotten real minutes. It seems like for a little bit of bookkeeping, it does seem to benefit a lot of people involved.
And again, we're being cheap. We're keeping him on the cheap. It's a great opportunity to save some cap space for Luke Kennard's eventual signing. Calm down, Grizz Nation. I know we were nervous about it, but it's going to happen. He's going to sign. I've just got a feeling in my bones at this point. If he was going to walk, he would have. I just think, and he's posting on his Instagram store about being locked in on the Grizzlies and watching them play in the summer league. Luke Kennard is going to be a Grizzly for the next several years. We just got to get it figured out.
Well, I agree with that. I would be shocked at this point if we got some news about him not signing. I would be shocked.
Correct. Yeah.
It just seems like everybody is
same.
It's the biggest bait and switch if he doesn't sign. Everybody's doing the right thing for that.
Exactly. And Wayno brings up a good point. You see this, our boy Summer League Lofton got waived. Summer League / last game of the year, Lofton got waived. He's only good in Summer League and for that last game against the Scrubs where he'll get you 50. But he is no longer a Utah Jazz.
Showing again that it's just hard to find. For as good as some of these dudes are, for as good as the basketball IQ, as good as the talent is there, it's hard to the NBA is hard. It's hard to find a spot. Especially find a spot that's consistent.
Yeah. On this network, they've talked a lot about David Jones over the last years, and he's a bucket getter from Memphis. But Lofton is another example. He's a bucket getter, but he don't play a lick of defense. And everybody's calling him like baby Zebo, and he had all that potential. And but like Zebo would lock somebody up, put clamps on him in the post, and Lofton could defend me or you. We were talking last week about me getting a bucket in an NBA game. Put me on Kenny Lofton. I'll get buckets.
I'd take him out to the perimeter and just drain him. That's what I'll do. Also, Jay Huff is a good beard. I
appreciate a good beard.
I appreciate a good beard too. That's the first thing I noticed. I was like, okay, beard.
He's like Drew Pember, but maybe a little bit thicker. Like Pember, he had the little beard, a little man bun, but like just didn't work out. Maybe Jay Huff is that.
Yes, it's. To put a little bow on the Jay Huff thing. I remember this time last year when I was just going through the list of free agent centers, list of centers that were available, picking my hair out, just trying to find one that could play basketball.
Yeah.
And now I feel we're about to go through the depth chart, but the center position is one where I'm like, we got 2 7. If you count Trip, 3 7-footers on this team.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. But let's pivot a little bit, because with this, I would assume this roster is pretty much set.
I think so.
With these guys, I mean, I'm including Luke Kennard in this. I'm assuming that we know who is going to be on this team next year. I don't, at least before the trade deadline.
Sure.
I like things. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in the first half of the season? But I think we pretty much know who we're going to roll out depth chart wise. Depth chart, is it a depth chart if it's basketball? It felt weird saying depth chart.
It's depth chart, yeah.
For a second I thought I spelled deep chart, and I was like, that's something different. I just wanted to go through it with you, something way different. I just wanted to go through it position by position, and just like, I'm pretty happy with where we're at in terms of skill, in terms of youths, in terms of vision, in terms of fit. I just think I'm struggling to find question marks on this team. From the top 15 to the 3 2-ways now. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to get too excited, but
I've been championing this on Grizz Twitter for the last several weeks. If you follow me, it's probably been annoying. I've been attacking these clowns on Twitter about it, because like, this is a top 3 roster in the West as constructed. I didn't think we need to make a splash. We'll get into the details here in a second, but high level view, like this is a team that's going to be a real threat in the Western Conference to make noise, to make a championship run, and to be one of the last teams standing in the West as constructed without any major moves.
Yeah, and you have to play both ends. I think that's important, because when you're looking at this depth chart, you got a lot of guys that play both ends and play both ends well.
Absolutely.
So the starters. The projected the depth chart starters. You got Ja. You got 12 running point. ESPN. I mean, I don't think about ESPN has Marcus at shooting guard, Dez at whatever. Let's say you start Marcus and Dez like in whatever conglomeration.
You're goofy if you think Marcus Smart is not starting on this basketball team next year. If he is on this team, he is starting. Yes, he might be your backup point guard, but Marcus Smart is a starter in the NBA still. You're goofy if you think otherwise.
Agreed. It's just you don't bring 120 plus playoff experience games and not start and not produce. Like, he's still producing to a degree. It's like,
I mean, we're what, 3 years away from Defensive Player of the Year, 4 years. I mean, he's an absolute dog. That's a starter for sure in my mind.
Yeah, agreed. So you got Marcus and Dez starting next to Ja, and then you got Tripp and you got Edey.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Good luck. I mean, you talking about like 3 defensive stalwarts. You got 2 former Defensive Players of the Year. You got a Naismith National Player of the Year and Zach Edey if he can get the ankles healthy. And I mean, like, it's going to free up Jaren to do so much. Just be that ball hawk that he was when Steven Adams was healthy of the year. That's it, man. Where Tripp won DPOY. I mean, and just protected the paint like nobody's business. And so having that big body of Edey behind him, Tripp can go do what he does well on the defensive end. And then offensively, man, you got 4 dudes who can run. You got a post-up player. You got 4 dudes who can shoot threes. Marcus can decently shoot threes.
He's no slouch.
No, Ja's working on that deep shot, but I mean, the pick and roll game with Ja and Edey, like, there's nothing about those starting 5 that tells me we're going to have problems in the West, if you will.
Yeah, agreed. Second unit, let's say let's not include our 2-way guys.
Fair.
Just
Just yet.
Well, just yet. I would say Derrick Rose, I guess, starting backup point guard. Kennard.
Yep.
Starting two guard. Vince, Gigi. I mean, some conglomeration of Vince, Gigi, and then Brandon Clark.
Yep. Again, that's a solid deep bench. We saw what Gigi could do in decent NBA minutes. I'm telling you, Marcus Smart's going to start the season. By the end of the season, Vince Williams Jr. could be that fifth starter. He is your favorite player's worst nightmare. He's smiling at him while he's putting the clamps on him. As Tony Allen once famously said, while he's cutting their water off, he can get buckets. He's what we thought DB was going to be. He's maniacal, man. Vince is like as hyped as I am about Gigi on that second unit. I think Vince's ceiling is really high.
I'm not wearing it. I've got a Vince jersey. Vince is my dude. I'm very excited for the season that Vince is about to have. I think the dude is. Yeah. I think he was the best guy we drafted from that draft class. I think he's 100%. Going to be, and I think he's going to be an all defensive team stalwart. Yes. I think he's going to be
year in and year out, but he can also go get you 20 if you need him to. I think his NBA future is very bright, and he's just so unassuming and humble and just hard worker. He's not going to be the guy that gets in trouble. He's going to be the guy that just puts his head down, and you're going to look up, and we're going to have closing lineups that have Vince Williams Jr. alongside Marcus Smart, Ja Dez. You know, I mean, he's going to be in that mix and shutting people down.
Yep. We didn't even talk about Santi Aldama yet. I mean, like, you want to take Derrick Rose out of that backup and say you have Kennard run point, you know, like, and just slide up Vince into the backup 2, and then you have Gigi in the 3, and you have Santi in the 4. Like, that's your top 11.
Again, go back and listen to Keith Parrish on Grits and Grinds podcast. He talks about it. One of the best 3-man closing lineups we've ever had for the Grizzlies is Santi, BC, and Jaren. You can argue with the wall. The stats are what they are. They are lethal when those 3 are closing out games.
Yep. So there's your top 11.
Yeah.
And then you've got Jitty, Jake. Who else am I forgetting?
Jitty, Jake. We've got. I mean, that's really going to be the main.
That's your rotation
before two ways. Yeah,
and then you got your 2 ways. I think that we're going to see Scottie Pippen Jr. running a lot with that second unit. And I think we see Cam Spencer a decent amount too.
Yeah, I agree.
At least maybe more than Jitty. We've got our 11-man rotation, 12-man rotation if you want to include GD, and then you've got your 3 2-ways, which include a guy over 7 foot, a guy that can shoot the 3 ball over 50%, and a guy that can run
as a true point guard.
True point guard. Those are your 3. Like, you know what? I'm going to put this up here. This is
it, man.
This is it. And this is a pro. This is a pro Taylor Jenkins podcast. This has always been a pro Taylor Jenkins podcast. I'm a big fan of dudes who. The fact that he's able to do what he's done without actually playing ball before, I think, is really impressive.
And what I appreciate about this front office is they saw his strengths are on the defensive end. I would put him up. He's one of the best defensive coaches in all the association right now. But that man, it struggles in half-court offense, and he always has. It's always been our weak point is late-game rotations, half-court offense. And by piecing like LaRoche and Tumas and all these guys around him who understand half-court basketball, shooting and scoring, this is it. Like, I don't think this is like a hot seat situation where he's canned if we don't win an NBA championship. I think if we don't make the playoffs, that's a different conversation if everybody stays healthy.
Yes.
But this feels like if we're ever going to take that next step to truly be that elite Western Conference Final, NBA Finals contender, this is the year. This is the year that happens with this team. Again, Lord knows we can't stay healthy. But if we can stay healthy, this is the year.
Yeah, I agree. Edward's asking us minute projections for the main rotations. What do you think? I think this is a good.
Yeah, there's not a world where I don't want Ja Morant playing like 32 to 35 minutes a game. Like,
agreed. I think Ja, Dez, and Jaren all should play
30 plus,
easy.
Yep.
I would have Vince, Edie, and Marcus.
Yeah. Around 20, 25.
25.
Yeah, because I think Marcus and Vince are going to be a fairly even split because they do the same things very well at high levels. Yes. And so those are 2 guys that, like, obviously Marcus is mid-30s and Vince is 26, 27. So, like, again, I think towards the end of the season we might see Vince a little bit more to if we're saving Marcus for the playoffs or whatever. But I think those 3 guys are going to be in that 20 to 24-ish minutes. And you brought up Edey. None of our starting centers over the last 5 or 6 years have averaged more than 24 minutes a game.
Yeah.
We don't need this guy to get 37 like he was at Purdue. We just need him to be effective for 20 minutes a game. So go get all 7 fouls. Like, go get all your fouls. Go get all whatever you got to do. Just be that guy for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think that you've got – honestly, you got your 3 main guys over 30. You've got Marcus and Vince splitting their minutes. Edey, 20 to 22.
Yeah.
And then let's say Gigi and BC – 18 to 20.
18 to 20, yeah. Santi's in there too. Yeah.
Like 10 to 15.
10 to 15, and I'll be very, very surprised if we're having this same show this time next year and Santi and Jitty are both still Grizzlies. I think those might be 2 pieces that we could move at the trade deadline, because Jitty got a lot of traction this year at the trade deadline from some contenders for what he can do on the defensive end. Yep. But I think,
good.
Yeah, Santi's good, man.
Santi. Any team would want Santi.
I mean, Summer Santi's a real thing. Like, he's cooking for Spain right now. Then he'll come and be, decent for us. But, I mean, I like Santi. His shot's too pure. He hustles. Like, he gets after it. He'll, if he's not on this team, he will be an intricate piece to whatever we need at the trade deadline. But I think for now, Santi, Jitty, and probably even Gigi right now are that 10 to 15 minute a game. There'll be some games where Santi and Gigi get a little more run, whether they're riding the hot hand or they just got a good matchup. But I think their role will be somewhere in that 10 to 15 minutes. And
then we even touched on Kennard. Kennard will probably get 10 to 15, maybe even 18. A lot of these are going to be dependent on matchups too. I think, especially with, I think the 6 guys that you can count on are big 3 playing over 30, mid-20s for Vince and Marcus, and then lower 20s for
Edey. Yeah.
Those are the 6 I would be like, these are what I.
Yeah, there's not a planet in this universe where Ja, Dez, and Tripp aren't playing 30, 35 minutes a game, and then that'll obviously get turned up towards the end of the year in playoff time. But yeah, I mean, those dudes, and you can, like we were talking about the other day, you can run Dez at the backup 1, but why should you when you can then put, we didn't even talk about, when Scotty's up. Scotty's going to get 10 to 15 minutes, that Tyus Jones role where he comes in and plays 10, 12, 16 minutes a game to give Josh some spell.
Get his
offense, that's it. And offense doesn't miss a beat. And so, again, could Dez and Marcus play backup 1? Yeah, they could. But should they is a different conversation when you can put those minutes on Pip in 50 games. Then when we put him on a real contract, and D-Rose, if he stays healthy.
Yeah, don't put the extra miles on Marcus either. He is getting older. Why? Why?
Why?
Fine. I like I said, I like what you said when we started this conversation. Top view, I don't know. That's a better roster. There's very few teams that I would rank higher than that. I would even put in the same conversation in us from top to bottom roster wise.
Agreed.
Guys, 1 through 10.
Yeah, I mean, you think about the teams that were at the top of the West last year, and I think we compete with Minnesota because, for whatever reason, Jaren sees red when we play Minnesota, and he absolutely cooks Gobert, like most people. Yep. The Lakers did not do anything to get deeper. We're deeper than the Lakers. We're deeper than Denver. Dallas doesn't.
We're deeper than
Mavericks.
Dallas.
They don't scare me. We're deeper than them. Those are your top seeds from last year, top teams that were playing towards the end of the year.
Thunder has depth and the T-Wolves have depth, but that's it. That's it.
That's it. And we match up well with both of those teams. It's going to be interesting as the season plays out. But the more I've looked at it, this conversation today has helped. OKC, they're a good basketball team. They don't scare me. SGA's great. Hartenstein's great. Caruso's going to help them a lot. That they got better. But honestly, I've said this before on this show and on ours, $2 Sports Show. I think a lot of these teams are making these moves to keep up with Memphis. I really, really do. We're not getting any media hype, but they're looking at Memphis and saying, we got to keep people that can run with Ja, that can defend Dez, that can bang with Edey. We've got to make some moves to keep up.
We need a 7-foot guy that can shoot, that can roam. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It's people forgot about the 901, but it's
we're going to remind them real quick.
Bingo. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we're just going to play a quick game. It's Thursday, and we haven't played Extra Crap in some time, but we're going to play. And a little hint, it's Olympic themed because the opening ceremony is tomorrow, and I hope it's weird. It's always weird, but I'm excited. And shout out LeBron, going to be holding the flag. It's cool. But we'll talk a little bit about that after this break.
Scottie Pippen Jr., man, he has looked so good this summer and made a strong case for NBA minutes.
Yeah, he's been amazing. And I think the biggest revelation to me is how well he has been on the defensive end. A havoc defender. He's always getting his hands on balls. He's always in the way. He's very good at anticipating. How that translates to an NBA 82-game regular season and playoffs is different. Yes, I do agree that John Morant's your point guard. I want him playing 32 to 35 minutes a game. However, in the minutes that he's off the floor, say Dez is out there or Marcus is out there, I'd still rather have Scottie Pippen Jr. facilitating and kicking to them. I'm
in your camp here, but I think that Scottie has a real role on this team. What if Dez and Marcus don't have to run one, and you can have Scottie running the point, have Dez and Marcus out on the wing, and then you've got Scottie driving where he can kick it out to Dez, or he can also shoot, can create space for our second lineup.
Tune in to the $2 Sports Show with Rusty Witten and Drew Gann every Friday at 3 p.m. only on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. Tiger basketball conference schedule released today. The non-con's been released. It's going to be a tough schedule once again. Good games at the crib.
The Rice revenge game.
FAU's going to be back.
Bring it. Y'all ain't FAU no more. Y'all just
UAB's coming to Memphis, and I like that. But it's gonna be a home and away, obviously. But UAB's coming back to Memphis, and I think that UAB's gonna be tough. They got a good team. Again, this conference is bullshit. So
why y'all hating on Penny though? All y'all folks in the Discord making all you getting your shit off, getting your jokes out about Penny's candles.
All the United States athletes are coming to the Olympic Village, and they're being greeted by the Olympic Committee with a gift. Guess what one of them is going to be? Penny has some candles with a company called 1122 Candles or 1122 Candles, whatever it's called. They're going to be in that gift box, and he has a letter written in there for him. It's so friggin' dope, dude.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back. Good commercial. That's good.
Yes,
get to see y'all. Get to talk about candles.
Look at here.
I saw
commercial Emmy right there. Let's go.
Yep, let's do it. I don't even know if they give Emmys for commercials, but they should. They should. Because I'd give you one. Welcome back to Daily Grind. You can catch that show. $2 Sports Show dropping tomorrow. You can catch the Anthony Sane Show also tomorrow. You can catch No Bluffing and Next Gen typically on Mondays. Grizz 901. We got Night Court today. Got a whole mess of shows. Tigers Untapped. I'm forgetting some, I'm sure, but we got a whole lot of them. Check them out. Back to our show. It is the Daily Grind, and on Thursdays, we play a little game dedicated to our great Admiral Akbar. It's a trap. Name of the game, I will give you a series of trivia questions based on a topic. You do not have to answer correctly. You just have to answer if it is a question, yes, or if it's a trap. Easy peasy. If you want to answer, you can say it. But so who did Ryan a couple weeks ago? You said it very well. It's like, whose line is it anyway? The rules are made up and the points don't matter. Here we go. In which year were the first modern Olympics held?
Yes. I don't know, but yes.
Yes. It was surprisingly 1896. Not as modern Olympics, I guess, is the thing.
I mean, these have been going on for thousands of years.
Thousands of years. Where were the first modern Olympic Games held?
Yes, but I don't know.
Greece.
Oh, that tracks.
Athens.
That's right.
I'm warming you up. Question number 3. Which ancient civilization is credited with starting the original Olympic Games?
Yes, that would be the ancient Greeks.
Boom. That's the answer. That's the exact answer I had typed up. So I'm going to give you 10 points for that one. Question 4. In what year did the Olympic Games introduce synchronized skydiving?
It's a trap.
It is a trap. There's a lot of synchronized stuff, but skydiving is not one of them.
That would be an epic game, though. Epic game.
Can you imagine, people just flailing and falling, trying to match it up? I'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Question number 5. Which mythical creature was chosen as the official mascot for the 2024 Olympic Games?
Yes.
Oh, it's a trap.
Man,
This was
it's in Paris. Yeah.
This is the only one where I was like,
Yeah.
this one might be tough because they make shit up for these mascots all the time. That Atlanta mascot was just called Expo. Was that his name? I don't know.
I think it was. Yeah. And then you got I think when they were in Beijing, they had dragons. I'm fairly certain. So I wasn't too far off of that.
No, I'm curious if anybody knows what the mascot is for the Parisian Games. Let me know. Question number 6. What was the first Olympic event to be held underwater?
Yes. Well, they start underwater.
It's not fully underwater.
Well, yeah, it's a trap.
It's a trap. It's like half underwater, like water. You picked water polo, right? Which is the scariest sport of all time.
Any sport where you got a legit chance of dying, like by drowning, you're an athlete.
It's like I need you to wrestle and tread water and use your hand-eye coordination. It's like
That's
what?
it.
All right. Question number 7. Which year were women first allowed to compete in the Olympics?
Yes.
What if you were like, it's a trap? It's not real.
It's a trap. They can't.
I'm like, man, your TV is messed up. Which country has won the most summer Olympic medals?
Yes. I don't know who. If I had to go on it's USA. Here we go. Yeah.
Summer. I think when you get winter, we're not as Russia.
Not
I
as
think
good at that.
Yeah. Silly Russia. Which was the first robot to win a gold medal in the gymnastics?
It's a trap. Although Simone Biles feels like a robot as good as she is.
She is so good. I just want to watch her. You know what? I'm going to give you points for naming her because she's my favorite.
She's the GOAT, man. The GOAT.
She is the GOAT. In which Olympic sport was dragon riding introduced? I don't know. Can you see my hands?
Kind of. Well, the games have not been held in Westeros yet, so it's
not
a
yet.
trap.
That's next summer Olympics. It's a trap. Next summer, the Westerosi Olympics is going to be sick. People just killing each other. In which city were the first Winter Olympic Games held?
Yes.
It is it's some city in France.
Good luck.
Chamonix. I don't know. Question number whatever. How often are the Olympic Games held? How often?
Yes, every 4 years.
Boom. You're getting all these bones. It doesn't even matter you're missing questions because you're getting all the actual questions right. In which athlete is known for winning gold medals in both fencing and knitting?
It's a trap.
Only one of those is an Olympic sport so far. I don't think knitting has been officially inducted. I think it's on the long.
Though, could you imagine if somebody was like knitting from afar with a fencing lance? Like that would be so impressive. We're inventing sports here on the daily grind.
I can't even. I don't know if I can finish the game. I'm imagining people fencing with it. Whoa. Okay. Which unusual material were the gold medals made out of in 1924? Hint: you could eat them.
It's a trap.
It is a trap. I don't know why I gave you a hint on a fake question. That doesn't make much sense. 2 questions left. Which sport has been part of every modern Summer Olympics?
Yes. It feels like a track and field something. It's got to be,
boom,
right?
Boom. You're just tripling.
I'm telling you, I'm like Olympic pro here.
This is the craziest leaderboard. I said I was going to get a leaderboard. You went like that's my noise apparently.
I started slow, man. The coffee hadn't taken yet.
Yeah, and it was I gave you weird questions. It's fine. It's fine. Last question. Who is the most decorated Olympian of all time?
Yes. Michael Phelps.
That's my fireworks noise. Pew, pew, pew. I wish I had fireworks. Man, straight up, the ones you answered right, which is really impressive. You actually played the game like a trivia game, and I don't know. I feel like you need to get an award here. I'm giving you this sword that's on my wall.
Let's go. I've always wanted a sword.
You're getting it. Don't open it. It's cursed.
Got it.
That's going to do it for our show today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for playing It's a Trap. Thank you, everybody who joined us at home. Edward, Wayno, T.
Yeah,
that's his name. T.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you for joining us, everybody. Rusty, thank you, sir. I will be back tomorrow. You will be back on your show tomorrow. $2 Sports Show at
Let's go. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, tomorrow afternoon. And everybody, Jess Benson's having it right now. Go check her out. Have a great Thursday. Go see Deadpool Wolverine tonight. And if I can leave you with just two things, remember just to be a little weird and remember to smile. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.